Shalom. Kol Holo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Hakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name's Barad Debar, coming to you from the GMS campus, Indianapolis. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. Especially to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. As you can see on the front or on the page here, it's exclusive rep Marjorie Greene makes big announcement on TYT. And I'm not going to play the full video. As you can see, it's 20 minutes long. You could actually, at some point, look this up, go into it. Very insightful video calling out the people who claim to be the chosen line of Israel, but are not. And so I'm just going to click on and let her say it. Again, this is fair use, only the first few seconds. I'm going to got a few scriptures to go into, and then we'll just pretty much keep it short. Here we go.
My argument is it's not anti-Semitic to say that America should keep our money and invest our own hard-earned tax dollars in our own interest, especially for a country like Israel that is nuclear armed and that is doing so well economically. They're able to provide state-funded healthcare and college. I don't think that's a country that needs our assistance, especially how they've shown the entire world that they're very capable of annihilating and wiping out their enemies. I completely believe.
So, very, very, very insightful video, as it's being made known who the elites are. When they actually tell you certain things, follow the money. When you look at the top banks, when you look at even here in Americas and all over the world, you look at the top banks, you look at the media, who runs the media, who runs Hollywood, just to name, a few, but practically Job 9:24, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And when you look at, the time that they came into rulership, you look at the iconoclasm, how they started to cover up and destroy the images of the true people and started to place themselves in those images, whitewashing. For example, our Lord and Savior Yahweh, son Yahweh Shai, is of the tribe of Judah, which would look like a so-called black man in today's time, not a so-called white man. Just to give an example, all the apostles, pretty much the prophets, when you look in ancient time, they were of one of the tribes of the true tribes of Israel, which were a dark-skinned race of people. Okay, for the most part. Okay, so, and of course we've been scattered, and we got some, in today's time, we got people that look like all nationalities that are scattered throughout all corners of the earth. And the Lord, again, the prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, starting with our head apostles and elders, have given, many accounts and breakdowns as to how that has come about and how it's going to fare, in the end. Okay, because in the end, it will be made known who all the Lord's elect are, and in the end, who all of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai's people are in general. But in this case, this is a revealing more and more of who the wicked is and who's actually receiving benefits, complete benefits in this land, on this earth, and at the same time, they're putting out terrorist actions or genocidal actions, as men, not myself, but as many people in the world also would agree. When it comes down to, first and foremost, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, when you find throughout history who was actually involved in a lot of the downtrodden and the bloodshed. And then, of course, with all the other nations. So they hit these other nations, but they always double back on the Lord's true chosen people. So we're going to get these scriptures. I told you it was going to be brief. So we'll get these scriptures here. And this was, again, a very, very insightful video. And I say that because this is the thing that the prophets has always been speaking of. But only when, a so-called white woman or so-called white man of a different nation, when they get to speak, then our people will actually start to listen in many cases and actually start to take heed. But our head apostles and elders have been saying this for several years, So let's get this. This is the book of Psalm 64, verse 8. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. What does that mean? Now, as you can see, many of their own people are starting to come out and find information that, hey, these so-called people, the people that are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that have been beaten and downtrodden and brought into slavery, they're starting to find out that these are actually the true people of the living power. And they're starting to read the books, or they're starting to hear the prophets and agree. Not saying that they all believe it fully, but they're starting to see certain elements to it that they agree with. And a lot of them that like fully are involved in agreement could more than likely be Israelites. But in any case, the Lord has a spirit that he's allowing for them to come out with this information and pretty much prove that they've have also inherited lies from their forefathers, being told that they were a superior race when in all actuality they are not. Okay, they come from the basis of men. So they'll make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. So now you're going to start to see, just like in this case, it's a subtle form of fleeing, because all the money that they were, she goes into, that they were actually given unto that nation. Okay, this nation, these Israelis, they were given all this money, millions, billions of dollars. Now she's actually saying, look, we need to think about ourselves and pull many of these funds, setting forth some type of legislation where they could pull many of those funds and actually stop that flow of currency, and of course they're gonna call her anti and certain things. She speaks on that. She's now made put a target on her back. Okay, but the Lord has put the spirit on her to do so, and now again, now people are going to start to agree, some, and some maybe not, but that is a form of fleeing. Let's pull our money away from them. Let's separate ourselves from these people, because they are already in a good position where they can control themselves, right? And then she goes into how they use the money, lavishly spending gifts on trips and things of that nature, and and many of them, and actually brother Kaya, he brings it out all the time. He has been a lot more lately, just saying that, hey, a lot of them people, man, they don't even work. So all the money that's being sent over, they don't even work. And of course, all the taxpayer dollars and everybody's working super, super hard here in the Americas just to afford, pay for their luxury, And so when the people really start to find this thing out, they're going to be angry, right? And this is why, again, people are going to chase them out as well. But this is why many people are going to flee away. Let's see if we get a different, let's get the let's get the NLT. Let's see what it says in the NLT. Okay, so I'm at work, so again, this is my typical situation, so we'll skip that, maybe come back to it. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All right, they're searched out by, first and foremost, the Lord. He has the angels in heaven, and they see all things. They're upon this wicked kingdom, originally that in Amos was dealing with the Israelites, showing that everything in which the children of Israel were doing at that time was being watched and seen, by the heavenly angels. And so, of course, we are also considered angels in this time, but in this time, everything is being seen also, by this wicked kingdom. And everything is going to be uncovered, especially the things in which the Lord, he's going to publicize and make it known, because all these things have to come. His word has to come to pass of him being uncovered, so that when he comes, he's completely justified. He would be regardless, but he's completely justified by his word that and the destruction of this nation. OK, so there's no excuses. All right. There was another verse I wanted to get in here, but we'll leave it there. As I said, we'll keep it short. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 10. It says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself." So now he can't hide. People know in the world, they know. Everyone knows who's the wicked, who's actually, how they're getting railroaded here in the Americas. But then they also really know who's controlling, who has their hands in damn near every pot when it comes to the economics and the wealth upon the earth, right? And it says his seed is spoiled and his brethren and his neighbor, and he is not. As you can see, when you look at the video, she's going to tell you they pretty much, America's in $1 trillion in debt, and a lot of their money is being sent over to them, and Israel by themselves is just in the billions. They're not even in the trillion mark. They're in billions as far as debt, which means that their debt could be, completely wiped, clean if they actually wanted to. But again, that's neither here nor there. But that's the point I wanted to make. His secret places are being uncovered, and they're showing that, everyone else, because they're the high elite, the Amalekites, which is the top elite of the Esau nation, out of all the people that come from Edom, they are at the height, and they are the main rulers of the whole entire earth. And of course, these are ones that the Lord is going to visit when he returns to take down. Okay, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 3, and it says, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." So when Yahushua returns, he's coming in his most angelic power, his most angelic form, with also the angels of the Lord. And this is, you can look at Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, I believe, 2 Thessalonians. Sometimes I get the first and second, but you can look at the book of Thessalonians, and it talks about how he's going to return with vengeance. You can also look in 2nd Esdras chapter 6, I believe 9 and 8, where he goes into Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Because once he comes back, he's going to reestablish the kingdom under the house of David, with the house of David, which will be the elect house, and where the Israel as a nation, as a people, will rule forever, even forever. So I hope that this lesson was edifying, uplifting, exhorting, because the end is close. We're very, very close, closer than we once believed. But anyway, before I end, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. And until next time, all those listening and learning to you, I say, Shalom.